Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa is preaching unity and teamwork. He says the ANC Youth League needs to be more visible and work with young people. He was speaking at a rally to commemorate former Youth League leader Peter Mokaba's 60th birthday. For more on the story, we're joined by our reporter Siphamandla Goge, who's in our Durban studios. Siphamandla, good evening. Were there any new and innovative ideas around how the young lions can perhaps improve their roaring, which the president seems to think has gone flat?
Not at all. It was just speeches urging them to be more vibrant, to emulate the former firebrand leader, that is Peter Mokaba. He said the ANC Youth League has been missing in action. They need to go back to basics and emulate the values of Peter Mokaba. He said they need to look at him like a mirror and see what they can take out of him, because he was a very charismatic leader. He described Peter Mokaba as a hero and a true revolutionary, and the current ANC Youth League members and leaders to say they need to make sure that they become vibrant, they champion the issues of young people when it comes to education, unemployment, and uplifting young people across South Africa. But he didn't outline how they need to do that, except to say they need to work hard to reclaim their space as the ANC Youth League, because there have been some concerns in the past that the ANC Youth League is slowly dying.
What was the response of the Youth League leaders that were there, Siphamandla? In particular, we have visuals of Colin Maine as he's listening to the president speak. What was your impression, and what did they have to say after that address?
Before that address, I did interview Colin Maine. I asked him about challenges facing the Youth League today. Of course, he denies and disputes the fact that the ANC Youth League is no longer vibrant, is no longer influential. He said if they were no longer influential, they wouldn't have organized today's rally, which was attended by thousands of ANC Youth League members. By the way, former presidents of the ANC Youth League, Fikile Mbalula was there, Malusi Kikaba was there, and other leaders. So Colin Maine is adamant that he's leaving behind a growing, a united, and a powerful ANC Youth League. We did put it to him that that is not the case. Even President Ramaphosa is concerned about the state and the status of the ANC Youth League. But former leaders like Malusi Kikaba, whom I interviewed after the president's address, was very clear that ANC members and the mother body, they need to stop interfering with the affairs of the ANC Youth League, saying the main task of the ANC Youth League right now is to convene the long overdue national conference to elect its leadership, saying that leadership should not be imposed by the mother body, but young people need to elect their own leaders who will be able to champion the cause for young people.
And of course, Siphamandla, some political analysts already, I think, looking ahead to the elections later on this year, have been talking about the opportunity that exists for political parties within that younger margin of the youth band, perhaps your first-time voters, your second-time voters. Now, when it comes to the Youth League, the issue of age has always been one of great interest, because you do have, as Susan Boyson put it, Youth League members that moved from the Youth League into the Veterans League. So how is the Youth League then also looking to address those challenges within its own structures? Is that an issue that it is looking at? And when you look at their campaigning, when you look at their messaging, are they trying to target those young people who are almost prime for any political party that wants to grow?
They have been given a mandate by their president, that's the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, to say they need to go out and recruit young people to vote for the ANC, because the ANC president did register that concern to say the ANC Youth League has not been engaging with young people. He urged them to go back to basics and make sure that they engage with young people. He said there seems to be a distance between young people in South Africa and the ANC Youth League. He was very clear in saying the ANC Youth League has lost that space and they need to go back and reclaim it, saying if the ANC were to win the elections, the bigger chunk of the votes or voters will come from young people. So that is the target they must go for, because that's the young population which will be voting for the first time. He said the ANC Youth League needs to go out to tertiary institutions everywhere and recruit young people to its fold, but also to vote for the ANC. He even made a very practical example in saying there seems to be too many young people dropping out of school who do not matriculate, and he said it's the task of the ANC Youth League to find out why is that the case and how can those people be assisted in completing their studies, because currently when it comes to the matriculants, quite a number of young people are dropouts, and he said it's the task of the ANC Youth League to lead that campaign, re-engage with young people in South Africa, but currently it seems as if that is not the case.
But Siphamandla, you know, just listening to the advice that the president was giving them, of course, the terrain that they would also be entering into is one, at least from a perceptions point of view, that is being dominated by the EFF currently. And do they see that competition as being almost head-on? And were there any plans around what exactly they'll be doing differently this year?
I think that point was stressed by the president of COSATU, Zingiswa, when she was addressing. She was very clear that the ANC, particularly in line and in context with the current list processes that were underway, she said the ANC needs to deploy young people to provincial legislatures and to the National Assembly. She said as the alliance partners, they are tired of seeing ANC leaders being challenged by young people from other political parties. We could only conclude that she meant the EFF in parliament. So the ANC Youth League is not clear as to how they plan to counter the EFF. But yes, it is a fact that in South Africa, the political landscape right now when it comes to young people is dominated by the EFF. And Zingiswa was clear in saying, first of all, the ANC Youth League must convene its conference. After that, it must get its house in order so that it will be able to compete with other political parties led by young people, including the EFF, because the EFF has muzzled the ANC Youth League out of the political landscape nationally.
All right, let's leave there for tonight. Siphamandla Goge is out in Durban, and of course he's watching just what was one of the many events that are being held there this week to mark the 107th anniversary of that party. After 7 o'clock, we'll take you back live there to Aldrin St. Pierre.